Hello, welcome to Return to Self. My name's Alana, and if we haven't met before, then it's lovely to meet you. Today, I thought that I would tune into the universe and ask what it needs us to know. So, the first thing that I was told was heightened intuition. What they said to me was that you're going to be feeling things in your gut over the next 12 months. You really need to learn how to tune into your bodily sensations that are giving you warnings or hints about things. Often, if I don't feel comfortable, I'll almost get a sick feeling in the pit of my stomach or a nervous, anxious kind of feeling. They're saying to me to be aware of these feelings, really start to pay attention to the different sensations that you do receive over the next 12 months. The more that you tune into these signs, the more the universe can send to you, particularly as you come online with your gifts. Just be really aware that your intuition is likely to be heightened this year. I was also told the environment. This has been a recurring theme in the readings that I've been doing, which is interesting because although I love the environment, I wouldn't necessarily call myself an environmentalist. But I do seem to be attracting a lot of fairies and things like that are basically telling us to use the environment. So they're saying to me, spending time at the beach this year, for those of you who live in small sort of beachy type areas, I guess, spending time in the salt water can be really good for clearing out your aura and just helping you to get rid of some of those denser energies that might be lingering. The next thing I received after that was an image of a moth. Moths to me always mean clearing out really sort of dense energy. So it looks like we're continuing to clear those old dense energies, which I think will become easier this year, a little bit lighter. But they are telling me that you are still going through training in relation to some of this stuff. So obviously there will still be things that you experience at times. They're saying to me that you are trying to get through this period. They're saying to me that a lot of you have been feeling really fatigued, really tired. You feel like you've been doing this for a really long time. But they're also showing me the eagle. I feel like if it's not right now, into the future, you're going to be able to see why you've had to go through the things that you've had to go through. They are just showing me as well that this has been a teaching opportunity for you. So I guess in that sense, you have been learning from this experience. And who knows, maybe you'll go on to help explain some of this stuff to other people. They are also showing me as well that there's a lot of old G's that have been stuck in your cellular body that are coming at the surface as well. This basically showing me quite a dark kind of energy. I'm also seeing what looks like money. So I suspect that some of these energies are probably linked into issues to do with abundance and things like that. You might start to see that you are beginning to experience more blessings. I am also seeing a man with a work collar on. I'm not sure if this is a particular reference for somebody, but I do see that something about this man that looks impressive. So I'm not sure if maybe somebody's likely to experience a sort of a raise in their job, elevation in their position or something like that, perhaps. Just be aware that this is something that could be coming. And something else that they wanted me to talk about was finding your own rhythm. So they were saying to me that you need to find your own rhythm, really focus on what's important to you, what helps to support your foundations. Things like yoga, it can be meditation, going for walks, all of those things. But everybody is different. What works for one person doesn't always work for another. They were also saying to me that you need to do things that bring you pleasure. So things that bring you joy, doing those things that you enjoy, that it's not all just sort of work, if that makes sense. Maybe even try and have a list of things that you can do when you're feeling sort of a bit down or depressed. Fun things that you can do, things that are exciting. They're saying to me things that have a more intense energy to them. This is just things that I'm throwing out there. Things like, I don't know, going to theme parks, doing high adrenaline things. It could be bungee jumping. It could be who knows what. It could be a lot of different things. Basically just doing things that are energizing. They are also saying to me as well that you are finding your own identity. So obviously this has been a reoccurring theme. So obviously just tuning into those gut feelings, tuning into what makes you feel comfortable and what doesn't, expressing things that don't make you feel comfortable, and just making changes to your life. If you feel like your life circumstances aren't reflecting who you are as a person, then it's really time to take control and basically to realign your life in a way that feels right to you. Now into the tarot reading part. What I did was pulled out 5 tarot cards, and this is called the Celestial Tarot by Kay Steventon and Brian Clark for anyone that's interested. So the first card that we had here was the Ace of Swords. The second card we had was the Wheel of Fortune. Third card was the Ace of Cups. And the fifth card was the Fool. So, with the Ace of Swords, the impression that I got was basically making your mark on the world. What I could see was that it's using intuitive knowingness and your intellect to search yourself in the world, to let people know who you are, what you stand for. It's a lot of that sort of identity stuff, really. What I was drawn to after that sort of immediate first impression was actually at the back here is some sort of, I think, some sort of shield. And the first thing that I got from that was just being aware of your environment, being aware of who you're around, what frequencies you're around. If your environment is negative, just being aware that it's negative and putting up boundaries where you can, and obviously sort of trying to exit out of those frequencies if you're able to. I did also see a lot of smoke around this sort of sword, and I think with that there might be a lot of sort of confused kind of energy going on, and they do show me as well that the greater collective, I guess, is starting to clear ego related issues. So you might find that the energy out there becomes quite intense and you really need to kind of just pull back. They're also saying to me it's really important to be speaking your truth. I guess that this can be hard if you feel like your truth is not resonating with groups that you're around. That could be family members, it could be in workplaces, it could be in friendships, it could be in relationships and things like that. But just being aware that it's really important for you to just be you. Really need to be able to express who you are. And this is a part of divine feminine rising, I guess. It's about you kind of coming into yourself and just embracing some of those divine goddess kind of aspects of yourself. They are showing me a pearl, and I think the reason that you're able to come into this divine feminine aspect is because you've actually transmuted a lot of sort of difficult or challenging emotional issues. I think that you guys have actually faced a lot of your own kind of shadow side and ego issues. Obviously, this comes up in layers, and everybody is going to experience this at different times. But I think for you, you've gotten through the majority of it, but other people may not have. Like I said, just continue being you. That's all you need to do. The next card after that we had was the Wheel of Fortune. And what I was immediately drawn to with this card was the lightning down the bottom. I basically felt like this year is about fast paced creation. You might be sort of initiating new things that you never expected. And I feel like this is about you really stepping into yourself, really taking control, basically creating what you want in your life. I think that some of this is actually sort of like divinely guided. It's stuff that you're kind of fated to be doing. I feel like it's like a combination of fate and free will, if that makes sense. The things that you have experienced have taken you to this place, and now they're basically saying that you're in control of your path now. That you need to assert yourself in the world. Obviously, not in a sort of egoic way, but just by being who you are, being who the universe needs you to be, whatever that means to you. The next card after this, we had the Ace of Cups. And I feel like this is really coming into that sort of emotional fulfillment. I think that once you are able to kind of step into that creator kind of mode, you will find that you feel more emotionally nourished. This is about opening up your heart, It's about using your intuition as well. It's a very sort of Cancerian type card, this, so it's very gentle, it's very nurturing. You might see here that there's a bear in the background though, and I think that it's just being aware, quite a gentle kind of person. And because of that, you may find that people, at least in the past, have maybe tended to walk over you a little bit. Just be aware of the energies that are around you. If you don't feel like the energy is healthy, if you don't feel like it's helping you to grow, it's probably best to just avoid those energies. Learning to maintain your own boundaries and what you're willing to put up with and aren't willing to put up with is a really important skill, I think, to master, particularly as an empath. If you're an empath, you're going to feel everything really intensely. And I think that you really need to be able to develop this skill to enjoy your life, basically. Otherwise, you're just constantly going to be buried in other people's energetic projections and things like that. They are also saying to me that with this card, it is about sort of honing intuition as well. So, like I said before, particularly paying attention to those intuitive kind of insights and things like that you might be receiving. They're also saying to me downloads as well. So, paying attention to any sort of ideas, thoughts, and things like that that you might be getting from the universe. Just keep yourself open and receptive to all that the universe is kind of trying to teach you at the moment. The next card after this was the Ten of Cups. And again, this is sort of a really happy card. It's about emotional fulfillment, it's about happiness. In the background here, I can see images of a crab, a fish, and a scorpion. And it looks like everybody's getting along quite harmoniously in this picture. Something's overflowing, the emotions are flowing. So I feel like this is really just about being in touch with your emotions at the moment. I think that this card is a really nice energy to kind of be sitting in. They are saying to me as well, just try and maintain balance through the next year. I think it's really important to keep that idea of balance in mind in everything that you do over the next 12 months or so. The card after that, we had the Fool. So in this card, it's basically just an image of a god and a male. He's on his fool's journey, basically. So this is about new beginnings, new creations. And I feel like stepping into a really big new chapter, basically. I feel like this is kind of like part two of your story, if that makes sense, and that you're basically just starting to create that. I think that that's why you've had to experience everything that you've had to experience so that you could come into this place, that you could create from a wiser kind of space, I think. I do still see that you are being guided through this process. I can see a lot of pink energies. They are also focusing me in on one symbol here. I'm not entirely sure what this symbol means. So I will try and do a bit of research on this card to see what it does mean, because I think it's of importance. If I can find the actual interpretation for this, I'll leave it below in the comments section for you. But yeah, basically, I think that likely to be a really good kind of year for you. I think it's basically all about just coming into yourself and embracing your abilities, your talents, your skills, and things like that in a way that I don't think you have done previously. And I think that that's something that your soul has kind of regretted up until now, that you haven't kind of taken this chance. I think everything happens for a reason, in a sense. I don't think you're ready to take these opportunities that you are now, but you're definitely ready now, definitely being guided and supported through this process. All right, I wish you all of the best as you navigate all of these changes in frequencies and things like that. If you have any thoughts, ideas, or comments, please leave them down below in the comments section. And if you could also like and subscribe, that would be great as well. See you in the next one. Bye.